Here's a question that provokes thought. Can a story that never happened still be true? Not true like a historical account, true like a mirror. Today we're not in a history class, we're in literature, with the oldest adventure story in the Western world, almost 3,000 years old, and it's still the best escape from a monster story anybody has ever told. I'm going to hand you over to the best reader I know. Rita?
The poem is called the Odyssey, and it was sung out loud long before anyone wrote it down by a poet we call Homer. It's about a soldier trying to get home from a war. That's all he wants. The war took 10 years, and getting home is going to take him 10 more, because the whole world seems set against a tired man who only wants his own front door. His name is Odysseus, and Homer tells us the most important thing about him in the very first line. He doesn't call him the strongest or the bravest. He calls him, and I love this, that ingenious hero, the clever one. This is a man who survives not by his sword, but by his wits. Hold on to that, because his cleverness is going to save his life, and it's going to cost him everything. Both, from the very same man. Now Odysseus and his men come to a strange island, and they wander into a great cave full of pens of lambs and kids and cheeses stacked high. It belongs to someone. They wait to meet him, and in he comes, a Cyclops, a giant, tall as a mountainside, with one great eye in the middle of his forehead. His name is Polyphemus, and he is a son of Poseidon, the god of the sea. He rolls a stone across the mouth of the cave, a stone so enormous that Homer says 22 wagons could not have dragged it away. And then he looks at his visitors, and he does a terrible thing. He begins to eat them, 2 at a time. There is no fighting a creature like that, and even if they could never roll that stone away. They are shut in with the monster. So what does a clever man do when strength is off the table entirely? He thinks. Odysseus had brought a skin of dark, sweet wine, strong wine, the kind you are meant to water down many times over. The Cyclops has never tasted such a thing. So Odysseus offers him a bowl, and another, and another. And the giant, delighted, says he'll give his guest a present in return, and asks his name. And here is the cleverest thing in the whole poem. Odysseus tells him, and I'm reading it just as Samuel Butler put it into English.
My name is no man. This is what my father and mother and my friends have always called me.
No man. Nobody. The giant laughs and promises his present. He will eat nobody last of all. And then the wine does its work, and the great creature topples over into a drunken sleep. Now Odysseus and his men take a great olive wood stake, and they harden its point in the fire, and while the monster sleeps, they drive it into that one enormous eye. Polyphemus wakes roaring, blind, and screams for help, and his neighbors, the other Cyclopses, come running to the cave in the dark and call through the stone, "Who is hurting you? Who is killing you?" And listen to what the blind giant bellows back. "No man is killing me by fraud. No man is killing me by force." Do you hear it? He means the name, but his neighbors hear the words.
Who is hurting you? Who is you? No man standing by. No man killing. No man is hurting me.
If no man is hurting you, they say, then you must simply be ill, and they go back to bed. The pun has saved his life. The name that means nobody has made the monster's own cry for help mean nothing at all. And in the morning, the men slip out under the bellies of the giant's own rams, and they are free. They are safe. They are rowing away, the island shrinking behind them. And this is the moment. This is the moment his men beg him to stay quiet. But Odysseus cannot do it. He has won, and he cannot bear for the monster not to know who beat him. So he stands up in the stern and he shouts his real name across the water.
Cyclops! If anyone asks you who it was that put your eye out and spoiled your beauty, say it was the valiant warrior, Ulysses, son of Laertes, who lives in Ithaca.
Ulysses. That's just the old Roman name for Odysseus. He has thrown away nobody. He has given the monster his real name and his father's name and the very island where his family is waiting. And the blind giant lifts up his hands to his father Poseidon, the sea itself, and prays. He prays that this man may never reach his home alive. Or if he must, then let him come home late and in sore plight, having lost every last one of his men. And Poseidon hears his son. That prayer comes true, every word. 10 more years, every man lost, all of it purchased by one shout he did not need to make. Now here is how we read a story like this at the Academy. We don't just ask what happened, we ask what it means, and we tell the truth about it. Look what Homer has shown us. The cleverness that saved Odysseus in the cave and the pride that doomed him on the water are not two different things. They are the same man, the same quick, bright, hungry to be known mind. Turned one way, it gets you out of the cave. Turned the other, it calls down the storm. Homer never stops to say, here is the lesson. He just shows you the same gift, saving and destroying, and trusts you to see it. There's an old proverb that simply names what he shows. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before stumbling. It doesn't scold him. It just describes the water he's sailing into. And you can watch him learn it, a little. Later in the poem, he must sail past the Sirens, creatures whose singing is so beautiful that every sailor who hears it steers onto the rocks and dies. And Odysseus does something wise this time. He has his men stop their own ears with wax, so they cannot hear at all. But he wants to hear the song, so he has them tie him to the mast tightly, and he tells them, no matter how I beg, no matter what I promise, do not untie me until we are past. Do you see what he's done? He knows before the beautiful thing arrives that he will not be able to trust himself once it does. So he builds the escape before the temptation, not during it. That's a wiser man than the one who shouted at the giant. He's learning that the most dangerous person on that ship is himself. So is it a true story? Every bit of it is made up, and it is one of the truest things ever written because it tells you the truth about yourself, that your best gift and your worst danger can be the very same thing, that you had better decide who you'll be before the hard moment comes. But I want to tell you what this old, wise, beautiful poem cannot give you, because that matters too. Odysseus gets himself home by being clever. There is no one watching over him. No one in all his wandering restores his soul. He is his own shepherd, and it very nearly kills him. Homer is honest about everything a sharp mind can do, and he is honest, without ever quite knowing it, about the one thing it cannot. The longing in this whole poem is for home, for a home finally set right, that the Greeks felt so deeply and could not name. We think they were reaching for something real.
That's literature the way GraceHaven Academy teaches it. We don't hand children only the stories that already agree with us. We hand them the great ones, the whole inheritance, and we teach them to read with open eyes, to love what's true and beautiful in Homer, to name honestly where his wisdom runs out, and to notice what even he was reaching for and couldn't reach. Thinkers, not parrots, with God at the foundation of every subject. If that's the education you want for your children, GraceHaven Academy is linked below. Thanks for sitting with us.